I figured out what it's called. It's the TLOU's coffee
Yeah.
Hawaiian blend.
We're just talking about coffee, guys. Don't worry. Hello, you're watching
Yeah.
PC Jack, and welcome to Tech Flashback, a PC gaming and hardware news live show focused on the biggest stories of the past week. As usual, I'm joined by my co-host Jerry, and today we got a lot of news to cover, especially as we missed last week. So first off, I'd like to say, yeah, we were just having a bit of a chat about coffee. I think there's a bit of a difference in the UK compared to the US. So in the UK, like we were just saying, no, in the UK we get like literally just most people just drink like powdered coffee. They'll just add it to hot water and that's it.
That's crazy.
This sounds really terrible when you think about it, but in the US, like you just have fresh coffee on the go.
Yeah, kinda. We just put it in the coffee pot. It boils in the little. Actually, I got a little Keurig. You just put a little cup in there. It has water in the basin, and it just fills up a cup full.
Oh right, okay. It sounds a lot better than what we got anyway. But no, probably had to clarify that anyway. But yeah, how are you doing, Jerry?
Not too bad, not too bad. Oh, and then about the coffee thing. Yeah, because before I just cook it in the big ol' pot, I guess. It makes like a bunch of coffee, and I'm like the only one that drinks it, especially right now since I'm the only one home.
Oh, fair
So
enough.
it's like
That's all
okay.
right. Well, on that
But
note, on that note about coffee, let's roll that intro.
sheesh, let's go.
Well, I'm drinking Guinness now. Maybe I should have gone for a coffee then. Change it up.
Yeah.
It's just that time
I,
zone
I
thing.
I forgot to buy a coffee.
A bio coffee.
I forgot to buy a Guinness. I'm
Oh,
sorry. I'm
buy a
sorry.
Guinness. All right. Well, there's next week. You have to see how it goes. But yeah, how have things been going, Jerry? What have you been up to in the 2 week break we've had?
Um, Jeez, what have I been up to? Well, this last week, from my channel has been pretty interesting.
Okay,
Um, I think I reviewed the 3080 last, right?
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that video is doing terrible. But I figured because that's a day one card that's been reviewed, for a while.
I suppose. Yeah. The one thing I have seen, not just like for smaller channels like us, but even for some larger channels, they are seeing a bit of a drop off in viewership over the last couple of months. Well, not a couple of months, but like month or so to the summer. So I think it's not like it kind of translates down to us, but it seems a lot more exaggerated. So it's gonna happen, but eventually things pick up. But like,
Now my views on my other videos are going up. It's just I don't know, the Founders Edition that 3090 Ti didn't do too well either. I have a theory though. I have a theory. You want to hear
okay.
the theory?
I just watch stuff on recent content which can be affected. Like, I've seen my stuff's getting like bit like less viewed, but like, it's just getting stuff out there and and see how it works. And if you're enjoying the videos you're putting out, then don't worry about it. But like, no. So you had the 3080 video go up on Friday. You've been working on anything for this week's upload?
I'm gonna be working on the graphic settings. So the when I do the benchmarks, I'm gonna go ahead and release those to the public. That way we can see if anyone's interested in running benchmarks. I want
Okay.
them to put their specs in the YouTube comment and then like reply underneath it, and you could just put whatever games you tested or whatever benchmarks you tested. You can show me the results.
So you're just going to show your methodology for testing, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I can't wait to hear how that goes. I'm sure like 80% is going to be happy about it, and 20% is going to be like, well, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you're not doing this, and
I suppose sometimes it can be good suggestions anyway, which is always worth hearing. But
That's true.
yeah, in terms of the channel, as you can see, I'm wearing a bit of a different headset. Got sent a. It's called the. Let me read the box. The Ampligame H6. I've just been sent this by Fine Fine, who I previously did a review for on their Ampligame K65-8 microphone. So they sent me this to review as well on the channel. And I did have to make sure I was thoroughly pronouncing the name correctly on that, because when they emailed me to review this, they sent some stuff like, "Oh, if you could put up a picture on the Instagram or Twitter or whatever, that's cool. If you could get it done within like X amount of weeks, that's fine. All normal stuff." And there was a note at the very end: "Please pronounce this fine, fine." I was like, that wasn't in the first email I had from them before. Obviously, I've been mispronouncing it this entire time in my videos.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll make sure to pronounce it fine, fine. So I thought I'd clear that up. But yeah, so I've been trying this out. Like Jerry, you can test to this. Like I'm not a fan of RGB, so it's quite a testament, that I'm actually wearing it on my head. It's crazy, but it's not bad. I won't share too much of my thoughts on it, but I'm going to be working on the review for next week, I believe. But I have more pressing things I'm excited to be covering this week, as some people may be aware. I know Jerry is. I finally got my Steam Deck,
Oh
so
wow.
this stream is going to end in about 5 minutes, and I'm going to
If,
keep
if you
going on
want,
it.
I would say I could just take over and you could be testing it this whole time.
It's fine. So, like, should we bring her on? Let's bring her on. Come on.
Yeah, I want to
Let's
see.
see. Oh, let's get this in the shot. This is a big boy. Oh, there it is. I can't even
Can't
fit.
see
It's too big. You can see it, but there. But it's a big boy, to say the least. But no, I've been really interested trying it out and just seeing exactly how it works and ticks. Did have a bit of an issue with it at first, where the initial update was taking a very long time to actually complete.
Yeah.
So obviously you first boot it up, and it'll do the first update, and it got to 1 second remaining and stayed on that for ages. So I didn't really know what happened. So I had to reset it 3 times, and then suddenly it completed the update, and it's been fine since. So it was a bit of a weird start on it, but I've been really enjoying it so far. So this week I'll be doing an unboxing and first setup video, which would be pretty cool. I was going to do it live, but I had a bit of issue. So obviously I've just like filming the deck itself. It's very difficult to capture the screen without a glare from like lighting or just general reflections and stuff like that. So on a stream it would have been a bit of a pain. And especially with, like I said, that issue we had with the updates, that would have made it even worse. Just waiting on stream for like however long it was, just be like, right, it's done yet? So it'll be an actual dedicated video, but like it's unreal. I have never used anything like it before. So like
What's
if
I say not getting too far into it. What's one of your favorite features about it, other than it being a portable gaming device? Obviously.
the main thing that is really just like, it shouldn't be that impressive, but just be able to play anything from my library of games on Steam, and just the fact that like they just it's completely unrestricted. You just be like, oh yeah, you want your on-screen display, check your frames, temperatures, GPU usage, CPU usage. There you go. That's fine.
Nice.
Whereas on like a standard console, that's all locked like well behind like some sort of wall that is very difficult for the average person to get behind. So with how transparent the device is, that's the bit that's impressing me the most. And also, I'm using the desktop mode a lot more than I would have expected. Well, a lot more than I expected, but like I transferred a lot of games from an external hard drive, so I had to transfer them to my Steam library, my Steam folders within the desktop, in order for them to be discovered within Steam, as you would do on a normal PC. But doing it on a handheld, it seems strange, but it's just those quirks and just the things that make it so much easier rather than just sitting there like, oh, I got to download all my library. No, it's a PC. I just transfer it as I would for any other computer. But yeah, I do need to do a lot. I haven't played too much on it. I played a bit of Resident Evil last night and during my lunch hour in work. But I need to try and play a couple of other different games just to see how it works. But I'm also trying to play games that aren't deck verified, or at least are not like just plug and play. Like some games, like they just don't seem to like, they don't boot straight away. Like for Fallout, for example, there's a launcher. So because of that, they don't class it as verified because you have to go through an additional step to like launch the game. And once it's launched, it's fine. But it's little things like that. But trying even older games as well, just to see how they work. And then some non-Steam games like Red Dead Redemption, I've only got that on the Rockstar launcher. So be trying that and getting that to work. But no, I'm gonna take my time on the review though, just because
Uh,
it's already been out, isn't it? So there's not really exactly a rush. Is it?
I was gonna ask you, do you have Cyberpunk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
You
got
do.
Cyberpunk.
Uh, have you downloaded that on your Steam yet?
No, not yet, but that is one I could look into testing. I was initially
I would
thinking
say
to test. Go on.
when you do run the benchmark, let me know what you get. I might throw you on my chart.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
I can see that game running pretty well. especially because it's got FSR now, hasn't it?
I believe so.
So that could be very
Maybe.
useful in that case. Yeah, I'll test that one out. I was gonna do like my most played games, as well as like a couple of like popular ones like Cyberpunk and whatnot. So I'll spend a couple of weeks on the review, only because it came out in like February, March. So it's not exactly a
Yeah.
rush to publish anything. I'll get the unboxing and setup video done for this week, but then yeah, give it about 2 3 weeks, and then I'll have my full-on dedicated review out for everyone to see. But nah, I'm excited to just. I'll play a game on this for the next couple of weeks now. Sounds really bad considering I got my various gaming systems, but it's going to be quite nice. But
Uh, I was gonna say I forgot to mention too. Something interesting happened on my live streams that they've been going up as well. Uh,
okay,
that's pretty good. So when I game it, they've been going up. And on Saturday, I did on Saturdays I've been doing extra streams recently, and those have been super popular. Warzone, of all things.
that's cool.
And this last Saturday, I merged my gaming channel and my tech channel, like just because just that's how it went. I
Can you elaborate
what
on that? What do you mean by merging the two?
um someone they found me through GPU reviews, and then they're like, "Oh, I didn't realize you gamed it." Well, a couple people, it's kind of been happening.
Right.
And so yeah, and he was asking me, he was gonna get the 6900 XT and what I think of it. And he saw my video, and that's how, he found the channel.
Okay.
And then one of my older friends joined the channel as well, and so I started looking between the rounds of Warzone. I was looking at the different graphics cards, trying to help him find maybe a better deal because he wanted either the 6900 XT, 3080 Ti. He was checking between those two, and that's a big price difference. So, I was trying to see if I could find a 3080 Ti for cheaper, which I couldn't.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, or close, but yeah, I couldn't find it. And then someone else, my friend that joined in, he said he was looking for a new GPU. So, in between the rounds, I was looking at cards for him. We ended up finding a 3080 12 GB refurbished for $700, and he's he when he seen it pop up on the screen while I was waiting, he's like, "Hey, just send me the link." So I sent the link in the chat, and he's like, "Hey, I just bought it instantly. I'm getting it
Awesome.
delivered." Yeah, so
Nice.
I was talking to the community, and I was also gaming it, and then between the rounds, I was we're doing like reviews on the GPU, so it was a nice
It's the best of both worlds.
yeah, it was pretty cool. I like the blend.
Nice.
I've been uh I've been trying to watch videos and stuff in between too, so just kind of changing it a bit.
That's really good. Well, it's an interest. It's just good to try something different anyway. But no, you've been getting on well with the streams as well as the shorts as well. Um, I didn't see the one. There was one popped up this morning I haven't watched yet though. Something about you
Huh.
peeing in a pond.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'll check that one out after.
Okay, yeah.
um, so, but this it's not really a first topic. It's kind of like we like to warm things up a little bit on the show, and I thought it'd be pretty cool as a non-tech topic, but like both myself and Jerry were pretty into Marvel as things go, and obviously over the weekend there was a big. Exactly, I like what he's wearing. Over the weekend there was a lot of Marvel news that came up from Comic Con. So I thought we'd have a little just chat about that if you fancy that, Jerry.
Yeah.
So I've just pulled up this thing for everything that was actually announced at Comic Con, and we take a little look through. Was there any particular highlights for you, Jerry?
There was some highlights. There's some lowlights. But the one that the one that caught me off guard was the Avengers. Was it the Kang Dynasty?
Yeah, so they announced Kang Dynasty and Secret Invasion. No, Secret Invasion is the TV
Secret.
show. Secret Wars is
Yeah,
the Avengers one. Okay, so yeah, I didn't see those coming. I knew they were going to do something with Avengers, but they were going to obviously take
yeah,
their time. But this is Phase 6. I think they're doing
yeah. Phase
Avengers
six,
now.
3 years from now.
That seems strange. It doesn't seem very long.
Yeah.
But
So it's
but when you think like, when the last Avengers film came out, 2019, I suppose that is a pretty big gap. But
yeah.
no,
I was gonna
I'm
say
excited for that.
it's gonna be 3 years till we get it, and then we wait 3 years for an Avengers movie, then they're gonna have them back to back in the same year. It's kind of
It's
it's
pretty
kind of
good.
wild. You think, yeah, you think they'd like at least do one separate year, 2025 and 2026, but
Oh yeah. Well, I think we can start with probably the most notable one from the weekend, I would imagine. And it's as we say, it's good to see on here. So we know that the last film for Phase Four, which is ending this year now, is going to be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, I've been very conflicted about this film. I understand the whole thing about not recasting Chadwick Boseman. I can see the reason for that, but I was struggling to see a sequel without him. I understand there's other very major characters from Black Panther that they can cover, but I've just been, I don't know, and especially there's been a lot of controversy with Letitia Wright, who played Shuri. She was causing a lot of trouble on set to do with some like anti-vaxxer stuff. I don't know. Don't want to get into it, but my buzz for this film was pretty minimal, to say the least. But since they brought out the trailer, it's kind of piqued my interest a little bit more. But so you can see on here, they said that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is actually going to be the last film of Phase Four. It seems really strange that Phase Four is ending. It feels like it didn't start that
yeah,
long ago. I think the pandemic kind of made that feel like a shorter period, if it makes sense. But then when you look at the amount of films that have been out for Phase Four, it's been quite a lot. Well, and especially TV shows as well, of course.
yeah. I was
But
gonna say, I think that's what made the it feel so fast is that we've had so much content like every month it feels like, or at least every
yeah,
other month, that it's gone by so quick.
it's been an interesting one. I know there's been a couple of things that like maybe I've kind of like not quite hit the mark, but it has been interesting to see them. It's a bit of an interesting phase after finishing with Endgame. But yeah, so like this trailer for Black Panther is absolutely blown up. Um, I gotta say, it's probably one of the best Marvel trailers I've seen in a very long time. Just in terms of everything, like the music, how it's just all put together. The I don't know who it is, but there's a cover of No Woman No Cry, obviously by Bob Marley. I don't know who's covering it in this though. It's a really good cover, to say the least. And then it's mixed with Kendrick Lamar. I'm not very familiar with Kendrick Lamar, but it's mixed with him at the end. But it's a very interesting trailer, I reckon. What did you think of it, Jerry?
Um, I liked it. Like you said, No Woman No Cry mixed with the song All Right by Kendrick Lamar. That got me hyped. I'm wondering if he's gonna do the album for this. He did the soundtrack for the first one,
I would think he
so
would.
so that'd be pretty cool. Um, what do I think about the trailer or the movie or
This
both?
the trailer. Like obviously we can't really judge the movie quite yet,
Yeah.
can we? But I'm glad to see
I
my
thought it was
my boy
interesting.
Namor, however you pronounce it, finally showing up in a film.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really know who that guy is too much, but I am interested in seeing who it was. I didn't even recognize it was the guy from Narcos Mexico. Uh,
Oh, he's in that, is he? I
I,
didn't
I
realize.
yeah, he has like long hair. But anyways, yeah, I didn't recognize him, and I don't know. It's kind of odd, like you said. It's gonna be hard to replace the former actor, and I don't know how it's gonna be like with Shuri as the Black Panther
Is it
because
confirmed it's going to be her? It seems like it is, but I just don't. I didn't
yeah,
realize
it
it was
seems like
confirmed to
it
be
is.
her.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either, but I don't know. It's gonna it's gonna be a tough task to win me over on that one. So we will see, I guess.
Well, I'm hoping that they are going to do it right. Now, I do know a lot of people really would have just preferred to see a recasting for the role, but like for something as high profile as that, it's a bit more difficult. But then again, they did recast the Hulk, so I don't know. But like, either way, the trailer has got me a bit more interested in what they've got to do with that now. But besides that, they brought out a trailer for She-Hulk. I'm still very torn on She-Hulk. I'm not quite sure where I'm at with that at the moment.
Yeah, it hasn't really caught my interest. I'll probably watch it since I have Disney Plus anyways.
I've always wanted to see something with She-Hulk, but there's something about I don't want to be one of those like CGI snobs, but there's just something not quite right about it yet. That could change once it's out because I know they obviously like visual effects artists for Marvel are notoriously hard worked right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just not.
Uh,
I'll wait and see. I did
That
like the.
reminds me,
Go on.
the Guardians of the Galaxy was pushed. Well, they were gonna release a trailer for it, but they pushed it back because of the virtual effects. And I'm looking forward for Guardians of the Galaxy. That's my favorite one.
That's probably
I
my
forgot
most
all
hyped.
about it.
That's my most hyped one at the moment. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, if James Gunn makes a terrible Guardians of the Galaxy, then I don't know what's gonna go on with Marvel. Because they're kind of been on a little lower path than usual. They've been hitting high marks and since Endgame, there's been some bangers like Spider-Man was dope.
That's why
Shang-Chi
that
was
was the
pretty
best
good.
one of the phase. I think.
Yeah, but that one had like 20 years of hype with it too though, so
Oh
it's
yeah.
kind of not it's kind of
Um,
not fair.
so I am curious if they are going to show the Guardians free trailer anytime soon because they did show it, but obviously, like I said, it's incomplete at the moment. Just thought I'd give TechLab UK a shout out in the chat. Hello. I'm not sure if that's hello
Hello,
or hello.
hello,
Good.
hello,
Nice-
governor.
You know how the British work, exactly. Nice to see you stop by. What else was there? They shown off some Ant-Man. Oh yeah, Secret Invasion trailer. But they haven't actually released that.
Yeah.
Um, oh, so that's the major thing. They've obviously officially said it's going to be called the Multiverse Saga, which I think we could all see coming already. What do you think of Jonathan Major, the guy who's playing Kang or Kang?
What I seen, yeah, what I seen of King Kong, what I seen of him in Loki, he wasn't too bad. Um, he was, I mean, he all he did was talk, but it was entertaining. So he seemed a little cracked out maybe, but he knew he was gonna die, so I get it. I'd be a little jittery too.
But I'm excited to see more of him, especially because he'll be the main
Yeah.
villain in. Well, I don't know if he's the main villain, but he's going to be the villain in Ant-Man, and that's going to have some implications for the rest of the MCU that I'm excited to check out. Tech Lab clarified it. It was hello, lol. I'm glad we're on the same page now.
Um,
um, what else
yeah, I
did we
don't even know
get?
if he's gonna be the main villain in the Ant-Man movie, or he's just gonna have a little side role, or maybe just briefly pop up to, you know?
I'm just wondering how he ties in with Ant-Man, because from Loki to
Yeah,
Ant-Man, that's quite a diverse like swap. If that makes sense.
yeah.
Um,
Well, that in Loki, he was the future. He was the
It
way in
probably,
the
it probably
future.
ties in with the quantum realm stuff going on, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Did you see the I Am Groot trailer?
No, I did not.
I think it's just gonna be a bunch of short episodes, but there's a lot of people going like, oh, it looks terrible, and it's like,
Oh,
you do realize this one is like, it is like, this one's built to sell toys, just putting it out there.
yeah,
So you're not the demographic. I'm not the demographic for I Am Groot. I'll still watch it anyway, just to keep up with it.
yeah.
Um,
Just to keep up with it.
oh yeah. What else
Okay.
do we get?
Oh, Spider-Man freshman year?
I didn't catch much about that. So what is Freshman Year? Is it an animated series?
No, it's just it's a new movie. Uh, oh, I'm not too sure. I thought it was a new movie, but maybe it is a show. You're right. I'm sorry.
Actually, there's a bit about it in this article. We also learned more about Spider-Man Freshman Year with some artwork released, as well as a release date window of 2024 on Disney Plus. Okay, if it's on Disney Plus, I'm guessing it's probably a
Yeah, it has
series.
to be a show.
Expect
That's
some
fuck.
familiar faces in this exciting new series, including Charlie Cox. That's cool, as Daredevil. Other confirmed characters include Doc Ock, Chameleon. Oh, that's cool. Chameleon. Rhino, Scorpion, and Norman Osborn. Okay. And then, yeah, we got a
Oh,
couple of other announcements on here. Which one did you just find now?
if it, I was say if it's Charlie Cox, then that means it's live action, right?
You could be doing a voiceover.
A voiceover? Oh, okay, okay. Man, why they gotta do me like that?
So, yeah, we got What If Season 2. I really liked What If before. I thought that was really good. And we've also got X-Men 97. I'm really excited for that because I loved the X-Men cartoons in the 90s. And to see it coming back is going to be really cool. I can check out that Spider-Man Freshman Year. So what is this?
I think the What If it was gonna be rated a higher rating too, like more mature.
Okay.
Unless I'm tripping.
Oh no, they're doing the Marvel Zombies. I think that's what it is, and that's what's getting
Oh,
the
that's
higher
the one.
rating.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Sorry, there was just so much stuff
I know this
in
is what I
one
mean. This
day.
is why
Yeah.
we should talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, what we got for Spider-Man Freshman Year? I want pictures. I want pictures of
The first,
Spider-Man.
oh, it shows right there. It's the comic book style. If you scroll down to the tweet,
Oh,
it just looks
I've just
similar.
been looking it up elsewhere, but okay, so it is going to be a cartoon then. Um, yeah, TechFlashback sticking in. He hasn't watched a Marvel movie since Endgame. I don't think you're the only one. I think a lot of people, like, unless you're the proper die-hard fans that steps in for like every single release, a lot of people would have mentally checked out after Endgame, especially because they had a year long break as well because of the pandemic. So I wouldn't be surprised by that if you haven't seen anything since Endgame. There have definitely been some good ones, but there has, like I said, we both said there has been some misses. Trying to think of the ones I didn't like as much this phase. Is there any that strike out to you, Jerry?
Let me look up what movies there are. Like I said, the ones I did like for sure was Spider-Man and Shang-Chi.
I like
Those
that
were
one. Yeah.
those were probably my top two. What is Marvel's Phase 4 lineup? Black Widow definitely
Hmm.
was a miss. I think it's probably the worst one for me.
Well,
Eternals,
for Black Widow, I liked it, but I feel like I would have liked it a lot more if it were released within the time window it's taking place in. But because we know what happens to Black Widow, I'm not really that like interested. Not
yeah,
interested, but like I don't know. It felt like it was too late. She was in a film like 10 years ago. It took 10 years for her to get her own solo film, and by that point, she's already
yeah,
been killed off. What else was there? So Eternals is okay.
yeah. So it's just Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder. So those were the movies or the films. I'm just counting those since he said he stopped watching that Avengers.
True, yeah. Doctor Strange, I really liked. That was probably my second favorite. I would think.
Your second favorite over Shang-Chi?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh wow.
There was something
Nice.
about like I love a good cameo, especially when Jim from The Office shows up. I
Yeah.
was like me and my girlfriend were the only people in the cinema that reacted to John Krasinski in that film.
Did you
Like I
start
don't know,
clapping?
not clapping, but like we were both like, oh my god, it's him. It's the meme.
Wait, did you see identity theft is not a joke?
Yeah, well, what's the Jimmy Woo? He's the guy.
Yeah.
He's Jim. There's two Jims in the MCU now. It's great. Um, I won't say who John Krasinski's playing. I just feel like that may have been a bit of a spoiler, but like it's been a while now. Um,
Yeah, it's been over a week. We can talk
it's fine.
about
What
it.
about the TV shows? So we had WandaVision,
um,
Falcon and the Winter
let me see.
Soldier, uh, Hawkeye. No, Loki, and then it was Hawkeye. I've kind of forgotten everything that happened in Hawkeye. Is it just
Yeah,
me?
Hawk. No, I remember it. That one. At first I didn't like it. I watched the first episode. I wasn't really into it, and then my cousin told me to keep on watching. It gets better, and it did get better.
The girl who played Kate Bishop, I gotta give her some credit. She was really good in it.
She's getting
Um,
her own show.
she is. I didn't realize that. Um,
Echo, right? Is that her?
oh, that was the other girl, the one that had the. She was
Oh,
the
she's the deaf
paraplegic.
girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Paraplegic.
I know that. Paraplegic, is that what you could call it if you got a missing leg? I don't know.
Was she missing like? Ah, shit. I guess I don't remember that show either. Then.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But Daredevil's gonna be in that though. It's gonna be like the disability show. It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was the other ones were? Then there was Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, which isn't
I
gonna get a
enjoyed.
show.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's not in the lineup for the next 3 years, the next phase.
yeah, I'm guessing he could potentially be in Avengers. I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe Secret Wars, huh?
All that potentially. What else was there? And then there was Miss Marvel as well. Miss Marvel only finished like 2 weeks ago. What did you think about that?
I'm barely on episode. I just finished episode 3.
Oh,
So
okay,
far it's actually not too bad, even though it is a little more kid friendly, I guess. But I like
okay.
it because I like the style of it. It's different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. I
It's
won't say anything
creative.
else about it until you finished it, and then maybe we can have a bit more of a discussion about it.
Okay.
think that's about it really from like the last 2 years. But that we're saying that that's about it. But that is still quite a lot. Like just like
Yeah,
say
there
least.
was WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and then well, She-Hulk.
And She-Hulk, yeah, next month. No, I think we've been a bit spoiled for choice, but then obviously some stuff hasn't landed as well, but then some stuff has. But it seems we've got some exciting stuff to check out. But we'll have to cross our fingers and hope that it's actually good. So
Yeah, on the TV shows, I think most of them were hits and miss. Now that I'm looking at the list, I really liked WandaVision.
that was probably one of my favorite ones. I think
Yeah, Loki was probably my favorite one.
Loki. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that was really good to be fair. But I am excited to see more of Jonathan Majors after seeing him in that.
Yeah, oh yeah, but yeah, I'm ready to move on.
That's cool. Just got it. We got to clear that up with my boy Kang, the Conqueror.
Yeah,
Yeah. So let's get into our first actual tech topic. Now, the topic I'm referring to is you may have seen this video from JayzTwoCents about a week or two ago, where the basic gist is that he said that if you are going to wait for a card, even though the fact that prices are pretty low right now, if you wait any longer, you're an idiot, apparently, to put it bluntly. So this has divided the internet somewhat with the fact that it comes across, in a way, it does come across a bit like shilly. I'm not going to say he is a shill. He's not a shill, I don't think. But the way it comes across is a little too much, to say the
promoting
least.
Nvidia.
Yeah. So I have seen there has been a lot of criticism of this, especially by I saw Greg Salazar did a video just saying like, no, you're not an idiot if you want to wait for a graphics card, and you shouldn't feel that much pressure to to buy now.
Yeah,
Who else? I did see there was a couple of other channels like Graphically Unchallenged did something on it as well. Not an Apple fan. He's one of the Irish YouTubers around here, like as in Ireland. So
yeah,
it's been
I'm
doing
around
the
there.
rounds. So what was your? I'm gonna do it. I had to do it. So Jerry, what's your 2 cents on on the situation?
My 2 cents on Jay is I don't know. It's I can understand where he's going with telling people like they want to wait for the next cards, but then those next generation cards are probably gonna sell out instantly. You know, scalpers and everyone trying to get their hands on one. And when that happens, the GPUs might go a little up just because the demand might be a little higher again. But yeah, him calling people dumb.
I thought it was a
Well,
little much.
I guess yeah, maybe not calling people dumb, but their actions are dumb. You know?
Yeah.
The what I didn't like about it was, AMD has their cards are really cheap right now too. And
Didn't bring that up
I
much.
mean, yeah, I was gonna say the 6900, the ASRock Phantom Gaming 6900 XT is $800 right now for a 6900 XT. That's crazy.
Tell you what, we
Um,
are gonna have to do. Like, you can carry on, Jerry, but like we'll have to do a bit
yeah.
of a catch up on GPU prices as we do every couple of weeks. So I'll pull up some prices over here in the UK. But
So yeah, so yeah, I feel like he should have gave both sides of stories, and then he even could have said too, it'd be dumb to buy now because Intel's also coming in, and if you're trying to save money on that as well, we could maybe you should wait to see what Intel does. He didn't mention them too much either.
hmm,
So I don't know. It did get a lot of views though, so that works.
yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
that does work. I don't know if
I
I'm
don't know
looking
how.
at I don't know if I'm looking at something that is really quite like impressive, but like I'm gonna pick your brains, Jerry, without googling. Tell me how much you would expect for a 6950 XT, specifically the gaming X Trio from MSI. What would you place that like price wise?
$1,019.
1019. Okay, that's a bit lower than I expected you to say because I'm just seeing on here that there's actually a. I thought it looked like a better deal than like before because I can see a 6950 XT gaming X Trio for £999.
Oh, okay. $20 off, huh?
That what it was 1,149. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. I thought that was a really good deal until you just like shout all over what I saw. I saw. um,
But can you look up the ASRock Phantom Gaming 6900 XT
let's take a look.
for about $200 less? You can get pretty much this same card. The MSI 6900 XT was 829 here. The not the 950,
Okay,
but
I've only
pretty much.
got Scan UK open at the moment. TechLab UK just brought up £800. I'm not sure if that was referring for the Phantom 6900 XT, but the one that is showing up on here right now is £959. So it's not far off that like 6950 XT. So as we were already covering Nvidia specifically with JayzTwoCents, let's take a look at that at the moment just to see where things are at.
Let's
Uh,
say, do you guys have Newegg over there too?
no, we can't order, but it's like it's international, so like we're not really like we see the same price as you, I would guess. Um, okay, pick a SKU, Jerry. Which SKU are you interested in for Nvidia right now?
For Nvidia, let's say a 3080 12 gigabyte,
3080 12 GB. Let's take a look. What we got?
or just type in 3080, see what pops up for that.
All right, let's narrow down this selection a bit. Why am I scrolling? This is the 21st century we're talking about. Let's look at 3080, 3080 12 gig, and 3080 Ti. Let's take a look at those. Okay, so we got 3080 Ti here. We got the 3080 Ti Tough Gaming OC
That's the
going for
3090
just
Ti.
over £1,058.
That's the
Okay,
3090.
this is the 3080 Ti I'm looking at here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My screen is way slower than yours.
Oh yeah, you're catching up.
You know.
um,
Yeah.
there's a Gigabyte Eagle OC model 3080 Ti going for £979. Okay, I think that's about the lowest we're looking at on here.
And
Um,
that's the Eagle, and that's
Eagle
Gigabyte.
OC, yeah. But mostly these are all sitting within like about that like sort of like 1,000 range or like just under. Let's take a little look at like I think this we may be following on from the 12 GB 3080 from last stream. Um, 3080 12 gig is going for about £700 or like mid £700 and up. That's
Did you say you found a 3080 Ti for 800 pounds?
I'm not quite sure what that is. That might not be on scan then. I'm guessing. Um,
Yeah.
if you do have a link
That's
to
pretty good.
that, drop it in the chat because we will take a look at that because I would be interested to see where that is available to.
Yeah, I was say because that's a really good deal.
I'd say so for if
I
that
would
is 3080
I
Ti
would
for
drop
£800. What we got? And
I
just
would
a
verify
general, like an
too.
actual. Okay, so 3080s are priced roughly around the same as the 12 gig models at the moment. Like I said, like we did discuss a couple of weeks ago that the 12 gig is getting phased out because I what was the reason before? I can't remember what we were covering with that, but they were hoping to like try and like get people to go for that, but obviously didn't quite pay up. Pay up. Oh no, he's referring to these. He expects to pay £800 for the 6900 XT. Okay, right, we're on the right track now. Um,
Okay. Can I ask, is the 1600 XT good or bad to you? And especially at 800? Because I can't read if when you say I expect to pay, I can't read if that's a good or a bad thing.
yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't know. But back to the actual topic with like what Jay was referring to. Like I said, I was still thinking it was a bit off the way that he sort of got his argument across. But I do feel like we are literally on like the cusp of a massive like just like surge in GPUs going onto the used market. Now I know some people might not be interested in the used GPU market. I can understand that if you prefer to buy brand new. But that of course could be a quite significant impact on retail anyway. So I feel like we're nearly there. Like we're on we were this close to greatness, but we're nearly there. Just gotta give it a bit longer. I feel like we're nearly there. We just gotta give it a bit more time. And the fact that Nvidia is going to be delayed, as it looks with Ada Lovelace, I feel that you might not want to wait for RTX 40 series, but if you wait a little bit longer, I feel like you are going to be getting on some really good deals for 3000 series. I'm guessing that's going to translate, especially in the US as well. But as both me and Jerry have said, we do tend to cover this every couple of weeks or so. We'll just take a look at the prices just here and there to find out. But what do you think, Jerry? Do you think we're nearly there with really decent prices for GPUs, like below MSRP?
I think if you need to build a PC pretty soon and you don't really want to wait anymore, I think now is a good time.
I can agree with
Because
that, especially if you're
CPU,
building a new system.
yeah, CPUs, motherboards are really cheap right now. Especially since the new gen is coming, they've really lowered the prices on everything. The GPUs aren't too expensive, especially when you compare them to the prices we paid for our stuff. Pretty much half.
Hmm.
So so if you're doing that, then I would just recommend don't wait. That's where I can agree with Jayz2Cents on that part. But if you've had a graphics card for a while and you can still get along with what you got, just hold on. Maybe wait till Black Friday. The prices might go down pretty great there. Oh wow. TechLab said he got a 6500 XT for 90 euros.
I was just
That's
taking a look
really
now.
cheap.
Yeah, so for a 6500 XT, that is pretty good price because I'd argue I'm still really on the cusp of where I'd be interested even using that for something. I do know that for my brother's system, he needs a graphics card. He's only got a 710 in there at the moment, so obviously he's not doing much at all right now.
So
But
this topic applies to your brother, huh?
I can do a little bit. Uh, and he just needs something to play 1080p, 60 hertz. That's it. He doesn't need anything spectacular. So if they're looking around there, that's a bit more ideal. But I'm slightly more hesitant on the fact that he's running on the B450 chipset. So he doesn't have PCIe Gen 4, which could be a significant factor when it comes to 6500 XT. And this is something you're even more familiar with, Jerry, because you've actually tested the 6500 XT PCIe Gen 3 versus Gen 4 as well. So I'd be, even though it's it priced well, I'd still be a little hesitant, especially when I could see potentially some other cards look getting even lower as well. But yeah, I'd be interested to see that. We still need to find that Twitter account that was trying to plug the 6500 XT as the ultimate streaming card. I still need to find that tweet. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No, I remember you telling me about it. That's hilarious.
it's got the best encoder. No encoder.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Jayz2Cents, he knows. Like I said, that's his most viewed video. I was just looking at him right now. Recently, his 7 days ago he had 309,000 views. 2 days ago, 366,000. 3 days ago, 300,000. 6 days ago, 285,000. And the one that let me see. Let me go back to it. Where it says 905,000 views.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
so even if he's wrong or not, it worked. It worked great for his channel.
He's smashing out that
So
algorithm. That's what we know for sure.
so I don't know. Did he apologize for it, right?
Did he apologize? I didn't realize that.
I think so. Or he kind of covered it in a newer video, him saying that he was a little bit off the mark. Yeah, he has a video saying I've never wished to be more wrong than now. I think he talked about it a little bit in there. I'm not too sure.
I'll have to take a
I
look at
listened
that
to
then. I'm not holding anything against Jay. I do like his channel, but I feel
yeah,
on that when he was a little bit off the mark. But if he has actually owned up to it, then that's a bit more telling of the way he sort of felt about that topic itself. But let's see. So I think TechLab UK's got a bit more info on the 6500 XT though, so he's tested it himself on his channel. So test it in his last video, but only against Gen 3. It's not tell, but it's like a 5-year-old card in performance. But we'll play games alright, so will 5-year-old cards though. Yeah, so it just depends, like I said, I don't know. I feel like there's better cards I could put in that system, but we'll have to wait and see. Uh, Just Chance, evening to you as well. Just Chance, thanks for stopping by. It's been nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. The next topic, though, I didn't really have too much to add on this, but I felt like we had to discuss this because we talked about it on like a stream or two ago. And this is something that's maybe a bit concerning, but I want to see how you feel about this, Jerry. And that is the fact that Skate 4 has been confirmed to be a free to play title. Let's take a little look at this article on here. So, EA has announced that Skate 4, or just Skate, now it's going to be called, will be a live service, free to play game due to launch across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox platforms with crossplay and cross progression. The news
Let's
comes
go.
as part of a new developer stream in which the devs insist that the game is not pay to win. Okay, that's a very important part that we need to bear in mind.
Mhm.
And that there will be no map areas locked behind a paywall, no paid loot boxes, and no paid gameplay advantages. They add that the game is taking inspiration from titles like Apex Legends for its monetization model in an effort to provide a good experience to players who don't want to spend money. The devs also insist that this is not Skate 4. In other words, it's not a direct sequel or a remake or remaster for that matter. There are no plans for standalone sequels as the studio intends to pour updates into this game as it continues to evolve. Yeah, so I'm still a little bit iffy on like free to play as like a live service for a game like Skate. But from what we've seen so far, and like the developers have been pretty transparent with what they're doing with the game, I'm hoping it's not bad news, or maybe I'm like overthinking it. I'm not quite sure. What was your thoughts on it, Jerry?
Um, I'm kind of 50-50. I kind of don't like the fact that, well, we don't know anything about it, but as it sounds like, it's gonna be a game where other players are gonna be around you skating as well, maybe.
I don't mind. I
Um,
don't mind that aspect. Like it works
yeah,
for that game.
I would say it's kind of cool because it is kind of like in real life. You go to a skate park, there's a bunch of skaters around, you know. You probably will be able to phase through each other too if it is that way. So you guys don't ruin each other's tricks or
Could
there's
you
not
could
too
you
much
phase through
chaos.
them in Skate 3 online?
I'm not too sure. I don't remember. I don't think I played online on Skate 3. I only played with my friends, like
Okay,
locally.
local co-op
And
as it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the only thing about the pay to win is hopefully it's not an incomplete game. You know, that's always
Hmm.
a problem right now. But that's a problem with games that you do pay for anyways. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, so hopefully it's not an incomplete game, and then hopefully they don't overdo it with the stuff you got to pay for. I mean,
The stuff you would pay
if you-
for, I would expect would be things like cosmetics or like decks and clothing. I guess,
sneakers
which I
and
don't mind on
pants,
that.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I guess I'll be rocking the stock suit the whole time. But at least if you're gonna have like a stock T-shirt, at least let us change the colors on it or something maybe.
but I guess what they
Don't
said
just
by no pay to win items, you can actually like play the game and unlock new cosmetics like clothes,
for now.
decks, stuff like that. Um, Just Chance, very apprehensive about this. EA loves to make empty promises to get people in, then change everything. He's not wrong there. I can perfectly understand that. Especially when EA. Well, this is kind of, it kind of ties in a little bit before this news, but remember we had the thing about there are 10, but they don't play single player games, or they only play single player games. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And this is when we thought Skate was to be a single player game. It's like, oh, that's great. Single player is fine. And then this happens. So yeah, maybe poorly timed. Maybe for the Dead Space developers, they're a bit more sad after that kind of news. But like, there we go. But yeah, it's not uncommon for EA to make that kind of promise and then not stay true to their word, to say the least. Um, I want to hope that that is the case, especially because they've been a bit more. Not so much EA, but the actual developers working on the game have been quite clear in what they're setting out to make, which is always a good sign to see. But don't know whether that free to play format actually works for them remains to be seen. I'm still excited though, but I just want to temper expectations. I think.
Yeah, the only thing that if I have to pay for clothing, I better get like name brand shoes. You know, I want to wear some Jordans or something on there if I have to pay for freaking shoes.
If I can
They better
get
go all out on that.
if I can get a pair of like the checkerboard Vans slip-ons, I'll be happy enough. That's my go-to shoe. But we'll have to wait and see and take it from there. So, would you like to talk about more GPUs, Jerry? Because I know how much
Sure,
you love GPUs.
of course.
And so we can't go into this too much because obviously it's not a final product. But as you may have seen over the last couple of days, is that Ryan Shrout and Tom Peterson of Intel have been taking strides to actually push the Intel Arc A770 a bit more. And they actually appeared on the LTT WAN show, as well as a video with Gamers Nexus. Basically, we've got a bit of a. I don't want to say definitively like what we've got, but like we've got some information on the A770 and how it performs just about. So if we take a look at this article over here, Intel executives Ryan Shrout and Tom Peterson have dropped some nuggets regarding the chipmaker's Arc Alchemist graphics cards in the latest installment of Linus Tech Tips. They missed out a little bit, but never mind. The flagship Arc A770, which will compete against the best graphics cards, made a brief appearance, offering a sneak peek at the graphics card's performance. Peterson explained that Intel had implemented a three-tier strategy regarding game optimizations for its Arc Alchemist graphics cards. Tier 1 includes titles that work exceptionally with Arc. On the other hand, Tier 2 encompasses titles that are less optimized but based on modern APIs such as DirectX 12 and Vulkan. These games should perform pretty well. The biggest concern for gamers are titles that fall into the Tier 3 category. Arc graphics cards underperform in Tier 3 titles, which correspond to games on DirectX 11 or earlier versions. So it's looking like they are like sort of like tailoring this a little bit more to newer titles, which is not. There's no problem with that at all. But obviously for legacy titles, that could be a bit more concerning. But I won't go through this whole article on here. But the gist is that it's not looking too bad. We can take a look at a couple of benchmarks on here. So Linus estimated that the Arc A770 was pumping out between 50 to 60 FPS in Cyberpunk 2077 on the high preset at 1440p. Title like Cyberpunk, okay, I could understand that as well, especially for a first foray on that. Additionally, the graphics card pushed frame rates to 180 frames per second on F1 2021 at highest settings at 1440p. And unfortunately, Intel didn't allow Linus to show off any Tier 2 games. Okay, that's one bit I actually missed from that article. That's a bit not concerning. I can understand because it's not a final product, but still, it would be interesting to see that. However, the celebrity YouTuber did provide a comparison between DirectX 11 and DirectX 12 in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, allowing us to see how much performance Arc is leaving on the table on older APIs. The Arc A770 delivered around 80 FPS during the DirectX 12 benchmark. On DirectX 11, however, the graphics card could only put out 40 FPS. Okay, I think that kind of gives us an answer to that question pretty much. But I do have to say though, my main takeaway from just seeing like, again, none of this is finalized, but it is good to see something that seems a little bit more promising than what we saw with the A350. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your like? We
No,
obviously we've talked a lot about the Intel cards over the last couple of weeks. What were your thoughts on this?
I was glad to. I think they said that it was going to compete with the 3060. That's kind of in the tier it's going to be.
Well, based on those performance numbers, it sounds roughly along those lines. If we're looking at, like I said, at what they refer to as Tier 1 titles.
Yeah, which is DirectX 12 newer games. The high preset at 1440. I was trying to compare them to what usually I test Cyberpunk on, but I compare at an ultra, so it's kind of hard to see it there. But I'm very interested in that, but I'm not interested in the benchmarks. I'm actually interested in the quality of life, the whole user experience, because with AMD for a long time, people had problems with their drivers, and since this is Intel's first card, I think the drivers is going to be the main selling point for me. If they're pretty stable and there's not a lot of crashes and not a lot of bugs, and if it is priced low or competitive like they're saying, then it could be a hit. But if there's a lot of stability issues, then that's going to be a big dent. But since it is its first foray, I kind of do see some bugs going in like that.
My biggest concern, they just need to get this out. Just it's now or never, I think. Especially with like they've got a bit of a head start now that it's not looking like we're going to see RTX 40 series anytime soon. But AMD, it could be nearly on the horizon with RDNA 3. So I think they're kind of like pushing it for like how far back they can actually like compete. Rather than competing with last gen hardware, they're going to be competing with next gen at the same time, which is not a particularly good way to be. But the one thing I couldn't find like a particular article that highlighted this, but it was from when I watched the WAN show that they elaborated on the China OEM release, which was like because we said before they were planning on releasing in China first, and the reason why is supposedly as though it can help them with ironing out any kinks that they got with like hardware compatibility or any sort of sensitivities that you would usually find. Um, so like obviously if they're working with OEMs, they can tailor the hardware specifically to be paired with that card, which could help negate any sort of issues with performance compatibility or any sort of stuff like that. So that kind of makes a bit more sense why they would be limiting it a little bit more and giving it a bit more time. But eventually it does have to hit the DIY market at a certain point. But I'm just glad they elaborated on that though, because that was my biggest concern is that it was only going to release in China for a fair amount of time. Um, so it was good to see that elaborated on. I did like to see like because this has been my biggest gripe with Intel as a like competitor has been their just god awful marketing. They've been so terrible with their marketing over the years. But it's been cool to see, like I said, what was it? Tom, I can't remember their names now. It's Ryan and Tom going out and doing these like sort of like press junkets where they're actually like being a bit more forthcoming with how things perform and getting a little bit hands on. And I said the same thing about Raja Kadori when he was like promoting Arc as well. And I don't know if that's because of Pat Gelsinger, like his sort of influence on Intel as a whole. Now that like he's been CEO for about a year or two now, I think. But like they are like they're drifting away from that extremely business centric marketing that they've been renowned for. And Gamers Nexus still rips into them for it today, as we've seen. But I'm liking the way it's looking, but I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to be good. Um, just catching up on the chat now. So Just Chance is liking the look of the card. He said it looks pretty good at the moment. TechLab UK can't wait for the Intel Arc GPUs to drop. As long as they're the right price, we all win in terms of competition. That's the most critical thing. It's competition at the end of the day. And that's what I'm most excited about because we're getting an extra competitor in that space rather than just being like two giants against each other is awesome for us. It helps us with just having more options to choose from, better quality hardware, better pricing for certain hardware, and it's just great for everyone. And Just Chance also said if they keep waiting, they will fall further behind. Again, that is literally the biggest concern I have at the moment. But yeah, Joe, have you got anything to add on in regards to
Yeah,
Intel Arc GPUs right now?
I was surprised to see that their DirectX 11 performances had a significant drop. Obviously, it doesn't say what what it was or how much it dropped by, but if it's saying it's struggling, right? Is that what it says in the article? Struggling to run the DirectX 11 compared to DirectX 12 games.
Well, when they looked at like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and the DX11 testing on it, there was a significant drop off by almost half, I think it was. Um,
So,
but maybe that's
how much?
something like I can understand. They could probably be prioritizing optimizations for newer titles that run in DX12 instead, and then maybe once they've got that dialed in, maybe they'll work back on DX11 and more like
An older game.
legacy APIs. Say if that makes sense.
No,
Could
yeah,
do
I
that.
get it. It was just odd to see. I really wasn't expecting to hear that. Um, but if they can update that with driver updates and stuff like that, that'd be pretty interesting as well. Like everyone says, release the card. You know,
That's
people
all we
over
want.
here, yeah, people are buying them from eBay and stuff and getting them secondhand. So it's not like the card's not being released anyways. And if performance is an issue, the best way to get the kinks out everyone testing it out at home. So
If we look
definitely,
at like not just like specifically in terms, we're not looking like not talk about performance, but like I quite like the design on the cooler. To be fair, um, if you're into RGB, as I'm a real RGB gamer now this week because of my headset. Um, but yeah, it's like it's a smart looking cooler design anyway. At least to clarify that, I thought. Um,
it looks like my Nitro, the special edition. The
it
fans
it
light up
does a
like
little bit, yeah, but it's quite subtle, just to say the
yeah.
least. But yeah, we're gonna keep covering Intel cards as much as we can until they finally release them. but
Yeah,
it's good to just see a little bit more and just get some little additional nuggets of info when it comes to these cards. I didn't bring it up just then, but like I poured a lot of Guinness on my leg just now.
oh nice.
I opened the can and it instantly fizzed. I was like, oh dear.
All
um,
right, you're already saying RIP to the Intel GPU, huh? Pouring one out for the for Intel.
for my homies, exactly. Whew. So, we got one last topic for today, Jerry, and this is one that was very prominent last week. We did discuss a bit of this game a couple of weeks ago. I think it was more around when sort of not E3, as it's being referred to, was happening. And that is the Last of Us remake has had footage leak online and with no gameplay improvements claimed, apparently. So first off, what's going on with Naughty Dog? All they seem to do is just leak stuff all the time. First, we had there was a massive leak with The Last of Us Part Two when that came out. I think the whole plot of that game ended up on Reddit at some point. And then they got this leak. Well, the trailer for Last of Us Part One leaked the day of the conference, and now like this is leaked again. Like they need to sort their security out. But anyway, so if we
Yeah, they
take a
need
look,
stronger passwords.
yeah. So let's take a look at this actual article itself. So it's very wise said. A spoiler warning. This article contains a major spoiler warning for the first sequence in The Last of Us. Uh, Speak up in chat if you don't want me to reveal the spoiler. But like this game has been out since like 2011, 13, like the original, obviously. But anyway, so if you take a look at the actual article, as posted to Reset Era, the images which have been mirrored in Imgur show off Joel's brother Tommy, Tess, and a brief clip of the game's opening sequence. It's also been claimed by the person who leaked the images that the game has no gameplay improvements, and that the upgrades are primarily to animation and audio. It was widely speculated that The Last of Us Part 1 would adopt The Last of Us Part 2's improved movement and shooting mechanics. The game reportedly supports variable refresh rate and will feature two visual modes: a gameplay mode which will run at 4K 40 FPS and a dynamic mode which will run at 4K 60 FPS. So before we move on, obviously it's important we clarify that on there that this is like talking about like the PlayStation 5. This is a title that is going to be coming to PC apparently. So you don't really need to worry about that at all. You can run it at whatever resolution or refresh rate you want on that, so that's fine. Just thought I'd clarify that. They have said it's not going to be long after it comes out on PS5 that it will actually come to PC, which is good to see. But anyway, while it's unclear where these leaks have emerged from, it should be noted that prior to the release of The Last of Us Part 2, huge spoilers flooded the internet and long gameplay clips, including pivotal plot scenes, were posted to social media well in advance of release. The source of that leak was eventually believed to be a QA tester who had been testing the game at home. Due to the COVID pandemic, which had just begun at The Last of Us Part 2, was being tested in early 2020. So yeah, I tell you what, like I said, it did say about a spoiler in there, and like if it is something that a PC gamer hasn't played before, I won't bring up the spoiler on there just in case. Even though it's been well over a decade, but you know. So the one thing I will mention though is that literally a couple of days after this, the last Naughty Dog actually brought out a 10-minute video going over all of the changes that have been made to the gameplay to actually make it more updated. And it does actually seem like there are improvements, and it does seem to use the same like sort of mechanics of Part 2, which is good to see. If they're trying to like tend like the wounds that's been left by the leak, that's a whole different question. But I just don't understand how they keep getting leaks all the time. You'd think at that point they'd have some like better like security systems in place to ensure that like some of this information and just media in general is not getting shown to the public early. How do you feel about this one, Jerry?
I never played this game or part two. Um, but I think if there's not if it's just graphics, I don't know. I feel kind of weird because they're charging full price for this, right?
Yeah,
Or
that's the
well,
bit I'm still a bit
not like
divided on. I feel
that's
$70 is still a little high for a remake. I would
of
think.
a old game. But at least it's not getting the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas treatment. How they upgraded the graphics on that game. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, that's a little
If
bit.
you
I
remember
was too heartbroken by that.
that. Oh, you ended up buying it.
I did, yeah. Um,
So it's getting. At least they're doing this a little more right
well,
compared to that.
what I am going to do, I am going to put a poll in the chat just to see. I want to try and engage like what people think about $70 as a price point for a game. But yeah, I still think it's pushing it a little bit to have it that high.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I
pretty
don't
wild.
know.
I'd say maybe $40. Well, yeah, $40 would have been a little more bearable. Like, hey, it's an older game. It's been reworked a bit, Get
That,
it, get the fresh remake of it.
maybe could have been a bit more reasonable, I would guess. But
Yeah.
like the thing is, I do want to play this because I haven't got a PlayStation anymore, and I would like to replay the game. So that's what I'm excited for. But like, if it is that high, then I probably wouldn't be that interested. Or I'll pick up the Jerry approach and wait for a sale.
Wait for the sale
Just as you said for like God of War and most PC
for every
releases,
game.
every
Yeah.
game. It's a great approach.
Yeah, it's just because well, it's not the JayzTwoCents approach where you buy it now.
Buy it now, you idiots. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, well, we just have to see about that.
Is this
Um,
the game you would play on the Steam Deck?
maybe. You never know. I am looking forward to playing the Spider-Man port on the Steam Deck. That'll be one that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, for the Steam Deck, I would love to play any single player game. I think that's where it would be the best for me
oh
because
yeah.
you could just pick up and go.
Well, this is what I found when I was in
You,
work today. Like I had about like so after I actually had my lunch, I was like, right, I got about 40 minutes to just sit and play a game. And like I said, I haven't got much installed on it, so I have just been replaying Resident Evil 7 on hard now, or as it's called Madhouse on the game. So I just picked it up for like 40 minutes and just like played through a bit of the game, which I thought was pretty fun. But yeah, for single player especially, I really don't know how I would do with first person shooters on it. Truth be told, I know we're going on a bit of a tangent here, but like I still struggle with first person shooters on a controller. It is still really difficult. But single player games, it doesn't really matter as much, I would argue. Um, but yeah, I've used a mouse on it as well. Like I've literally plugged in my wireless mouse on it. It works quite well.
yeah,
To be fair.
I was gonna ask you if you can plug in a wireless controller, like an Xbox controller or something.
I'm not sure. You definitely can. How you do it, I don't know, because when I was using Linux on my desktop, I couldn't get Bluetooth set up for my wireless controller, so I would have to plug it in if that was the case. But the only USB adapter I've got is a single USB-C to USB Type A, so I can only plug one thing in. I need to get an actual USB like hub, and then I can actually plug in like a mouse and keyboard and use it as a computer, which would be quite handy. Um, but yeah, there was something I couldn't do I couldn't use the mouse for some reason, so I had to plug in an actual mouse, and then it let me do it then, so it was okay. But yeah, there's a bit of a tangent on there, but The Last of Us would be pretty cool to play on the go as well, anyway. But Jerry, you're getting all the tips right now on like how to make the most like on your purchases as possible, like Steam sale.
Yep.
It's the OG. TechLab UK paid $12.99 for Days Gone a few weeks after it went to PC. That is a good deal. That's a pretty good one. Paid $22.99 for God of War a couple of weeks after it came to PC. And $14.99 for Horizon Zero Dawn, etc., etc. That's not bad pricing. Like literally, like if you hold out and like, especially for some of those sales, you can get some really decent like prices on them. But like yeah, I'm really burnt out by the GTA remaster. It did a number on me. I put too much faith into like my childhood nostalgia, and clearly it didn't pay off. But you live and let learn, you know.
I was gonna ask you, since we're talking about sales and we're getting close to the end. I figured this might be a good way to send off. Did you get any Prime deals? Or over here in the United States anyways, every other store was having sales for the Prime days as well.
I bought one thing. I got an SD card.
Oh, nice.
That's it. I didn't see anything else. I was after. So I wanted to get an SD card for my Steam Deck, and that was it. So it was like 50, 60 pounds, reduced to 30.
Oh, nice.
So
That's not too
that's
bad.
okay.
What's half off?
Yeah, I didn't look at much, to be honest. Um,
Did any of you guys in the chat buy anything? Feel free to let us know if you got anything during the Prime Day sales. Or
yeah, let us know if you did actually find any decent sales, and obviously let us
I
know if you use my affiliate link as well. Just that's a good thing to bring up. Secret plug.
uh
Um,
yeah. I was gonna say I bought a mini fridge, a pretty
okay,
like a beverage one. It has like the glass front, so that was pretty nice. And then I also bought these shirts. I bought shirts that for like $6 each
that's
at
cool.
Target. Yeah, and I was like, well, I've been needing clothes to stream. Uh, sometimes I don't want to be wearing like the same stuff on stream every time.
Fair enough.
And I was like, yeah,
Well,
so I was like six
if
dollars.
if we were streaming last week, then I would have been here topless, and we may have got
Yeah.
demonetized. Because that was
Why did
bit
I
too
have to join
ridiculous
you?
last week. Oh yeah, it'd just be like a total like nipple fest going on.
Hot
Um,
boy summer.
yep. um, yeah, like because also I bought that SD card and like there wasn't much else appealing to me, and I seem I'm not alone because TechLab UK said there's not much that was particularly tickling his fancy for UK Prime Day as well. So maybe it seems like it must have been much better for yourself.
Bought a bunch of Velcro straps and
Nice.
some things to wire manage, because I had them in my list, and they're like $1.50 off. So I was like, all right, I need to wire manage my whole place anyways, so why not?
So you told us on the last stream you had some cable management to do on your mining rig. Have you done it?
Yeah,
I can't see it from here how much management has been done.
yeah, but it doesn't look
You're like, it's
from the
fine.
screen.
Don't look too closely.
And, yeah, it's still the back of it is what was mostly.
What we got? Oh,
So I
okay, I
braided.
suppose it is looking a little bit neater then. I suppose.
I braided all those wires in the back, and then I did link all these up back together.
Okay.
But
So how is it looking on the hash rates on those now? Are you getting much?
oh yeah, the hash rate on 3080 is nice. The 3070 Ti, I have the LHR unlocked, so that's pretty cool. And then also the profits have gone up recently. I don't know why, but yeah, so
Okay.
I'm earning a lot more than I was before for the same hash rate, so it's nice.
Fair enough. Well, I
Um,
literally haven't been keeping up too much with crypto at the moment, so I'm not 100% sure on like how it's been looking. But no, it's interesting to know anyway. But I was just about to say that you're back in focus. We're good to go. But you need a multicam setup so you can like literally just instantly like switch to like anywhere else in your room and you'll be right there.
yeah, definitely. And
Um, Before we go too off tangent on as we like to go off tangent, let's just end that polar set just because we were near the end of that topic. So, what were we looking for the results on that? Give me those results. Okay, so 75% yes is too much for $70 for a remake. 25% no said no. Okay, so we can go back to this when we see some other games that are going for around that price and see if that sort of like that opinion changes or like stays around the same. Be interesting to see. But yeah, I still feel that it is
What
a bit much.
what is a remake that you bought that maybe justified the price or at least came close to matching the price that it was at? That you pretty much feel like you got your money's worth or the best bang for your buck.
I know, but this is one I kind of got on it a bit late. Was the Resident Evil 2 remake? That was really good. Like but the problem is I paid it for it like 3 years later, 4 years, however long it's been since it came out. So obviously I got it for really cheap. But that is a full blown remake from the ground up. And if I paid for it full price back in the day, I probably would have been pretty happy with my purchase.
Nice.
Um, Trying to think of what other remakes. What about Modern Warfare? Wasn't that remade?
Oh yeah, 29. Well, it was rebooted.
It wasn't remade. It
Oh,
was it was
no,
rebooted
no,
then, was it?
they actually did make a remake of it too.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I got that one. I did play that one. And actually, that it wasn't bad, but it was just like updated graphics, pretty much. Um,
Okay.
I'd say, I'd say one of my best remakes was probably the Master Chief Collection for Xbox. It had Halo
Okay.
1. It had the remastered of Halo 1 on there. They remastered Halo 2, and then they had Halo 3, Halo 4 on there as well. So, I mean, content-wise, you're getting like 4 games for full, and one fully remastered, the Halo 2, and then Halo 1 they remastered individually before, and they just bundled it in there as well. So,
Okay.
I feel like that was a good deal.
I'm drawing a blank with other remakes.
Oh, Diablo
So
2.
Diablo 2. I still need to get on it. That might
I got that.
would that be a good game on the Steam Deck?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I like playing with mouse and keyboard, so if you don't have a mouse and keyboard, it might not be as
Hmm.
great. They do have it. They do have it for the PlayStation and the Xbox, so it is playable with the control.
I could take a look. That could be a potential one. So Tech Lab UK brought up the same thing. So Resident Evil 2 and 3. I wasn't as impressed with 3, but again, it was a full blown remake from the ground up, which is what is crucial. I think it was just because it was a bit of a shorter game, but I think the original was short as well. And he's also brought up about Halo 2 has a single button to switch the game from remake to original, which is hilarious. Doesn't Diablo 2 have the same thing where you can
Yeah,
switch
Diablo 2
from?
has that.
I know another one that I like, but it's not really a remake; it's a remaster, and it's probably gonna date myself a little bit with Command and Conquer. They did a remastered
Oh,
trilogy for that. Or was it the trilogy? No. So I think I specifically played Command and Conquer Red Alert, and that was remastered, and it also had a switch so you could go back from like the original graphics to what it looks like now. Not a
it's funny
drastic
because
difference.
I say on those games when you do play them with the new graphics and then the old graphics, when you play them with the new graphics, you're like, oh, this is exactly how I remembered it. And then when you switch back to the old graphics, you're like, whoa,
You're like,
this
oh my
is
god, what was that?
like, yeah, yeah, this is what I was playing on. You know what other game was pretty good too? Ocarina of Time, the remake on the 3DS.
Okay. When it comes to like those ones, for like it's like Legend of Zelda ones, I'm not as familiar. Like I never really grew up playing those. But
Really?
that a remake, or did they do a remake for that?
Yeah, they did a remake and it was pretty great. It was in 3D too. So
Oh, okay,
not only was it like remastered graphics, updated graphics, they fixed the gameplay a little bit and they made it 3D, which is pretty awesome to try that way because it pretty much revolutionized the gaming scene
hmm,
with its gameplay because you could lock on. Man, this is crazy. You could walk around and lock on, and it was open world, and it was an insane game. Um,
to go from
I
that
wish I
jump,
still had it.
especially.
Yeah, I wish I still had it, man. I had the gold cartridge.
Oh, nice,
And
that's good.
yeah, it was sick. Yeah, and I don't know what. I think I gave it to my family in Mexico.
Oh,
You
fair
know.
enough.
Yeah. So
I just
kind of
remembered a remake I was excited for, but I don't think I'm going to see anytime soon, and that was the Sands of Time remake. But that's kind of just gone into like development hell at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see on there. TechLab UK, gotta jump off, laptop overheating, lol. Thanks for the stream. Maybe you should have to take a look at that laptop. That seems a bit unusual for a stream to make your
yeah.
laptop overheat. But I won't say anything else because I think we're
Top voice
basically
number.
exactly. I think we're basically at the end now as well, Jerry. So how about we draw it to a close? But there for today. I think that was
Yeah,
that was a pretty good one. I enjoyed that. I think it's good to get back into it after a 2 week break. So yeah, that's it for Tech Flashback episode 18. I think it is. Yeah. So if you enjoyed the stream, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more streams on the way soon. We stream every Tuesday at 7 p.m. BST, or for yourself, Jerry, it's 11 a.m. What time zone is it for you?
Pacific Daylight Time.
What he said. And yeah, if you'd like to talk both myself and Jerry, you can check out the PC Jack Discord along with the Top 3 Entertainment Discord. And also make sure to check out Jerry's channel. All of his links are in the video description, which I'm absolutely certain I updated to make sure they're correct. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
If they're not, I'll make sure they're corrected. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, and we shall see you in the next one. Goodbye, all.
Shout out to TechLab UK and JayzTwoCents and Evening.
You guys are the best. Peace out.